Welcome everybody to the #1 Bitcoin pod. In today's show, we'll be discussing Bitcoin Bollinger Bands hitting a key zone as the Bitcoin price fights for $27,000. In breaking news just in, Bitcoin hash rate hits a new all-time high. Let's go. And quoting Stacey Herbert, Bitcoin is pumping on the news of President Bukele's speech to the UN tonight. Can't wait. We'll also be discussing Bitcoin Adoption Fund launched by Japan's $500 billion Nomura Bank. That's right, the Bitcoin Adoption Fund will have long-only exposure to Bitcoin and be available to institutional investors. We'll also be sharing Sam Bankman-Fried's father dragged his mother into an FTX US salary dispute. You can't make this stuff up, folks. Also in today's show, Bitcoin gearing up for a post-halving parabola. According to crypto analysts, I'll be sharing his very bullish all-time high target. We'll also be discussing crypto asset market cap should explode 5 to 10x during the next bull cycle, according to macro investor Raoul Pal. I'll also be sharing Peter Thiel's $4 million Bitcoin price prediction, and we'll also be taking a look at the overall crypto market. All this, plus so much more in today's show. And a quick reminder, if you're new to the channel, please be sure to subscribe to receive daily premium crypto news alerts every single day just like this. And of course, if you gain value out of today's episode, smash that like button as it helps out tremendously with the YouTube algorithm. Also, we have a new channel which can be found at clips.cryptonewsalerts.net, where I'm uploading daily shorts and clips taken from this daily live, which is going to be exclusive on the Crypto News Alerts channel. And with all that being shared, welcome everyone just joining us. This is pod episode number 1406. I'm your host JV, and today is September 19th, 2023. We have lots to cover as usual. Massive shout out to everyone today in the live chat. Please let me know where you're tuning in from. And at the end of the show, I'm going to be reading everyone's comments out loud. Let's kick off today's show with our market watch, as we do each and every day. The entire crypto market back in the green, with Bitcoin back above $27,100. And checking out coinmarketcap.com, the current crypto market cap on the climb at 1.08 trillion, with roughly 27 billion in volume for the past 24 hours. Bitcoin dominance at 49.2% and the Ether dominance at 18.4%. And checking out the top 100 crypto gainers of the past 24 hours, we have Toncoin leading the pack, up 5%, trading at $2.57, followed by GMX up about 5%, trading just under 36 bucks, followed by Conflux up 4%, trading at 12.5 cents. And checking out the top 100 crypto gainers of the past week, virtually 95 out of the top 100 cryptos are in the green. Some of the top gainers include GMX, GRT, as well as CRV and NEO. And checking out the crypto greed and fear index, we're currently rated a 46 in fear, same as yesterday. Last week was a 30 in fear, and last month a 37 in fear. So there you have it. How many of you are pretty stoked for this most recent pump? And how many of you agree with Stacey Herbert that this pump is due to Bukele's speech scheduled for this evening? Let me know, fam. And now let's dive into today's Bitcoin technical analysis. Check out the charts and what's popping with the King Crypto. Bitcoin could see fresh upside volatility as the price action and the strength revisits a key level, according to a classic metric. In a new post, John Bollinger, creator of the Bollinger Bands Volatility Indicator, says the Bitcoin was positioned for a breakout decision. That's right. After hitting new September highs the day prior, Bitcoin has been challenging resistance levels out of reach since mid-August, according to data from Cointelegraph and TradingView. Now for Bollinger, the signs for Bitcoin are encouraging. Bollinger Bands use is standard deviation around the simple moving average to determine both the likely price ranges and volatility. And as Michael Saylor once said, volatility equals life force. Now currently Bitcoin is putting in daily candles that touch the upper band, and when this happens, it can signal an imminent reversal back to the center band, or conversely, an inbound fit of upside volatility. Now, narrow Bollinger Bands seen on Bitcoin recently lend weight to hopes that the latter scenario will now play out, quoting him here. And then there is the first tag of the upper Bollinger Band after the new set of controlling bars were established at the lower band. He commented alongside this chart, the question is now, can we walk up to the upper band, or is it too early to answer? What are your thoughts, chat? Let me know in the comments below. Now, Bollinger characterizes the current mood amongst seasoned Bitcoin traders and analysts on the short-term time frames. Despite the strength seen this week, caution abounds as various trend lines previously acting as support remain above the spot price. Now, discussing the situation, we had on-chain monitoring resource material indicators share the following. We have heavy technical resistance overhead at the key moving averages and support at the lower low. It is quite possible that we round trip the range, and with any luck, we'll see a legit test of the RS levels that will give us some clarity on where Bitcoin goes from here before the end of the week. And they also shared here an update number 2. As noted earlier, it appears the Bitcoin bulls are gaining some momentum, but things are not always as they seem. And goes on to share that sometime after last night's candle and close open, we've seen a new trend precognition signal develop on the daily chart, and it seems to be bullish. I mean, we are breaking out. We are above 27,000, so let's freaking go. And also more strong foundation on the technicals. You can see Bitcoin hits yet another all-time high, which virtually means the network has never been this strong and this secure. Now, I'm pretty stoked to tune into President Bukele's speech to the UN this evening. What do you think he has to share besides, I told you so? Let me know, fam. And again, welcome to everyone just joining us for the live show. Lots to continue to cover, so let's continue breaking it down. Next, let's discuss this adoption fund, which is a pretty big deal coming out of Japan. Let's go. Check this out. Japan's largest investment bank, Nomura's digital asset subsidiary, Laser Digital Asset Management, launched the Bitcoin Adoption Fund specifically for the institutional investors. Bring it. The official announcement noted that Bitcoin-based fund will be the first in a range of digital adoption investment solutions that the firm plans to introduce. Now, Nomura is a Japanese financial giant with over $500 billion worth of assets, which basically that's half a trillion, baby. Offers brokerage services to leading institutional investors. The Bitcoin fund, launched by its digital asset arm, will now offer investors direct exposure to BTC. The Laser Digital Bitcoin Adoption Fund offers long key exposure to Bitcoin. The financial giant has chosen Kamanu as its regulated custody partner. The Bitcoin fund is a portion of Laser Digital Fund's segregated portfolio company that has been registered as a mutual fund in accordance with the Cayman Islands regulatory authority. Now, Laser Digital Asset Management head Sebastian said the Bitcoin is one of the enablers of this long-lasting transformational change, and long-term exposure to Bitcoin offers a solution for the investors to capture this macro trend. Now, the Bitcoin Adoption Fund might be the first of its kind launched by Nomura in the digital asset arm, but the Japanese investment banking giant has been investing in the digital asset ecosystem for quite some time already. In fact, September of last year, the firm launched its digital asset venture capital arm to stay at the forefront of digital innovation. And also earlier in August of this year, Nomura's crypto arm, Laser Digital, also won Dubai's Virtual Asset Regulatory Authority license to operate in the country. The long-only Bitcoin adoption fund for investors in Japan comes amid a growing discussion around Bitcoin-based investment products from regulated and mainstream financial giants. The United States SEC approved 2 Bitcoin ETFs, even though there is a delayed decision specifically on the spot Bitcoin ETFs. What's up with that, Mr. Gensler? Just saying. And apart from the US, Canada and Europe have also approved several Bitcoin-focused investment products over the past couple of years. So there you have it. Mass adoption. Let's freaking go, especially on the institutional level. How many of you are in Japan? I know we have some in our audience out there. Let me know. And have you ever heard of this company before? Any plans in investing through them? Let me know how you guys feel. And now let's break down the latest. It gets more surprising and shocking every day with what all is going on with Bankman-Fried and FTX. Now his parents are involved. His parents are being sued by FTX. And it's just a nightmare of a mess, to say the least. So let's break down this latest story regarding SBF. Now, Joseph Bankman, the father of the former FTX CEO, Sam Bankman-Fried, complained to his son about the salary he was receiving during his employment at FTX US, turning the issue into a family matter. In a September 18 filing with the U.S. Bankruptcy Court for the District of Delaware, FTX debtors filed a complaint against Bankman and Barbara Fried, alleging that SBF's parents misappropriated millions of dollars through their involvement in the exchange's business. And according to the court documents, Bankman's contract with FTX US should have provided a $200,000 annual salary following a leave of absence from the Stanford Law School in December 2021. However, Bankman seemed to express ignorance about the terms of the contract, claiming to both FTX US and his son that he was expecting a $1 million annual salary. What about all that property in the Bahamas, fam? What about all that? Hundreds of millions worth of property properties. Just wanted to throw that out there. The complaint states that Bankman was putting Barbara on this, suggesting that SBF's mother may have been able to persuade her son to follow through with the salary change. Things get even more interesting. So according to the complaint, Bankman's influence paid off, with SBF later providing his parents $10 million from Alameda Research. Can you talk about commingling? A $16.4 million property in the Bahamas funded by FTX Trading, the ability to expense roughly $90,000 to FTX Trading on the island nation in the Bahamas, and options to purchase company stock. Now, when reached out to the legal team representing Bankman and Fried, but did not receive a response at the time, unfortunately, the legal action brought by the debtors was the latest in the bankruptcy case involving FTX and many of its subsidiaries, filed in November of last year. Bankman-Fried also faces 12 criminal charges to be spread across 2 trials starting in October of 2023, which is right around the corner, fam, and March of 2024, right before the halving scheduled for April of next year. And since the federal judge revoked his bail in August, Bankman-Fried has been largely confined to the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn. Where's Brooklyn at? Before the start of his October trial, then on September 19th, a 3-judge panel heard an appeal from SBF's legal team requesting the former FTX CEO to be released from jail in order to prepare for the trial, citing the lack of internet access and First Amendment issues. All I gotta say is this: I mean, how many people realistically have access to the internet in jail? Why should he? $1 million question right there. But what are your thoughts, fam? How do you think this is likely to play out? And do you think that Bankman-Fried's parents are just as guilty as SBF himself with the commingling and the fraud of going up north of $30 billion, making it the biggest scam in history that we're aware of? Hence why we call him Mini Madoff, because he made off with billions of dollars worth of investors' money, and Gary Gensler and the SEC was protecting him behind closed doors. So it's going to be very interesting to see how all this is likely to play out. Now let's discuss post-halving. We all know there is a halving scheduled roughly 6 months out. We all know post-halving, the price action is most likely going to reach a new all-time high and enter price discovery mode. Well, this analyst shares a very intriguing target. So let's break this down, shall we? And welcome to y'all just joining us. Say hello in that live chat. Let me know where you're tuning in from. I stream live here 7 days a week from Puerto Rico. Pseudonymous analyst Rec Capital tells his followers on X that Bitcoin can rally above $80,000 per coin in the months following next month's event. For the halving, send it. Let's go. The Bitcoin halving cuts the Bitcoin miners' rewards in half, as we all know, expected to take place in April of next year. And while Rec Capital is a long-term bull on Bitcoin, he notes that it is possible for Bitcoin to continue its downtrend before the halving. Quoting him here, hang in there and make the most of any deeper downside in this pre-halving period. You won't want to miss out on the post-halving parabola. And he outlines here in this chart, it shows you in the yellow, the pre-halving period, then in the pink, the post-halving resistance, and then in the green, you can see the post-halving parabola when we hit those new all-time highs. Now, Rec notes that Bitcoin may repeat its 2019 bear market cycle when it traded within a triangle pattern before breaking out and starting off the bull market. As he shares here, if Bitcoin continues to form lower highs, could Bitcoin fill the CME, which is the Chicago Mercantile Exchange gap, at $20,000 later this year or in early 2024? So he makes a good point. There's currently a gap sitting at that 20,000 psychological level. And he continues, if so, the possible path could be consolidation to the apex of the black triangle before finally breaking out to close the halving. And you can see that triangle right here in this chart. Now, looking at the chart, he seemed to suggest that Bitcoin will confirm the triangle breakout in April of 2024, followed by a rally towards his long-term target. Now, let me know your thoughts, chat. How many of you agree that Bitcoin is likely to break out to a new all-time high, entering price discovery mode in 2024, the year of the halving? Let me know. And what are some of your targets? I also like to point out that the Stock the Flow model and Plan B, creator of that model, he suggests a $100 to $1 million price range for the King crypto post-halving. We also have some very other bullish predictions, which I cover on a daily basis here on the channel. But I'd love to know your personal prediction. I think we reached the cycle peak personally sometime in 2025, but I think 2024 we enter that price discovery mode. But I'd love to know your thoughts and your opinions in the comments right down below. And now let's break down our next story of the day and discuss the latest from the macro guru, Raoul Pal, who is suggesting that the Bitcoin market cap and crypto market cap as a whole does something between 5 and 10x for this upcoming bull cycle. Now you do the math. We have a crypto market cap right now. I'm going to ballpark it at $1 trillion. We have a Bitcoin market cap. I'm going to ballpark it at $500 billion, which is 500 billion. So hypothetically, if we were to 10x Bitcoin in and of itself, we're talking about a $5 trillion Bitcoin market cap, which would be half the current market cap of gold. Now, with the entire crypto market cap, we can potentially hit 10 trillion. Now, also note, back in November of 2021, when we hit that all-time high of 69,000 in November of last year, the total crypto market cap was just north of that $3 trillion market cap. So he's ultimately predicting over 3x high from the previous all-time high. So let's break this down and shout out to Raoul Pal. Here we go. Former Goldman Sachs executive Raoul Pal says the next bull cycle can bring an explosion in the market cap of all of the digital assets. That's right. In a new interview with Altcoin Daily, the macro expert says he expects a huge increase in the adoption of digital assets, and that can cause the total market cap of crypto to skyrocket as much as 900% from its current value during the next bull market. Quoting the analyst here, obviously, I think we'll go well through new all-time highs. I think the whole ecosystem of crypto will go from 425 million users, where we're at today, and I think at the end of this cycle, there'll be 1 billion users by that kind of use cases in which we have talked about. And let's not forget, we have got central bank digital currencies, better known as CBDCs, and stable coins. There is a lot going on still. So if this entire space is going to grow 2.5x in the number of users, well, the market cap of the entire space is 5 or 10x. Send it. Let's go. Powell also says he is closely watching development of layer 2 altcoin projects for new use cases, which could boost the value of their individual market cap. Quoting him again, and then let's see how people value layer 2s in this. We don't really know how layer 2s accrue much value. Do we have to have a massive amount of transactions? In which case, then you need stuff like Ticketmaster with millions and millions and millions of transactions to drive value to those chains, because they batch them and batch them down to Ethereum. So there you have it. And to watch this interview he did, Raoul Pal, the macro guru, with Altcoin Daily, entitled Best Cryptocurrency Investing Strategy into 2024, check the show notes below the video in the description and let me know your thoughts on his personal prediction. Do you feel post-halving that the market cap for the entire crypto market can likely 10x from the current valuation, along with Bitcoin surging 10x to roughly a 5 trillion market cap? And hypothetically, if the macro guru is correct, where do you think that would likely take the Bitcoin price? Well, let's run some hypothetical math. If Bitcoin was to 10x from the current price action of 27,000, well, that's $270,000 per coin. Take that. And as we all know, if Bitcoin rises like that, the entire crypto market cap would go along for the ride, including the altcoins. So please let me know in the chat, fam, which altcoins, if any, are you most bullish on in the crypto market? And what are your thoughts surrounding Raoul Pal being so bullish on Solana? A few months back, I read in an interview he shared that 80% or more of his portfolio was specifically in an altcoin called Solana. So I'd love to know your thoughts. Obviously, he has a high risk tolerance, as I look at that particular cryptocurrency to be very risky, especially with all that went in with the venture capitalists and SBF and FTX exchange pumping that particular alt. So I'd love to know how you feel regarding all of that. And with that being shared, fam, now let's discuss Peter Thiel and his $4 million price prediction, as well as rumor has it, and I'll be covering this as well, that he dumped most of his Bitcoin position at the top of the market practically 30 days before the crash. So let's break this down, because Peter Thiel was actually one of the keynote speakers at the Miami conference for Bitcoin. And here's what he had to share as I transcribed his speech. And then we'll discuss him reportedly making 1.8 billion cashing out on his 8-year bet around the time he was touting these all-time high predictions. So here we go. He says, the enemies list is a list of people who I think are stopping Bitcoin. He says there is a lot of them. They tend to have nameless, faceless, bureaucratic perspectives, which of course is one of the ways they hide. He goes on to share, we are going to try to expose them and realize that this is sort of what we have to fight for Bitcoin to go up 10x or 100x from here. Now, just FYI, to give you some perspective, at the time he made this prediction on stage at the Bitcoin Miami conference, Bitcoin was trading at roughly $43 $43,000 per coin. So you run the math. 43,000 times 100x is over $4 million per Bitcoin. So that you know that, let's continue with what he had to share. The central banks are going bankrupt. We are at the end of the fiat money regime. How many of you agree with that statement? I agree there 100%. The first person on the list is Berkshire Hathaway CEO, Warren Buffett. Thiel put up a picture of Buffett with two of his most famous quotes about Bitcoin. One was rat poison, and the other, I don't own any, and I never will. I also like to point out, now since then, Warren Buffett has much indirect exposure to Bitcoin through Bitcoin mining stock companies and etc. So go figure, if you can't beat them, join them, right? And he goes on. He opined, I think the sociopathic grandpa, what a great nickname, of Omaha is perhaps the most honest and the most direct in it. Yeah, and I say also Charlie Munger goes along with him. Now, Thiel further noted that Buffett has a bias and makes him long on fiat money system, and money managers who follow the Berkshire Hathaway executive's advice will pretend it's complicated to invest into Bitcoin. I think we call that FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt, and I would expect nothing less from one of the wealthiest people in the fiat money matrix Ponzi scheme. You know what I mean? So just saying. The next person on the list of Bitcoin's enemies is the one and only JP Morgan Chase CEO, Jamie Dimon, or as Max Kaiser calls him, Jamie the Tapeworm. Thiel put Dimon's picture up with the following quote, I don't call them cryptocurrencies, I call them crypto tokens, because currencies have rules of law behind them, central banks and tax with authorities. Now, you guys already know how I feel personally about JP Morgan Chase CEO Jamie Dimon, so I won't go any deeper there. But anyways, we know he's an enemy of Bitcoin and always has been. The next picture he put up was of the BlackRock CEO, Larry Fink, with the following quote, I see huge opportunities in a digitized crypto blockchain related currency, and that's where I think it is going to go. Now, just FYI, Larry Fink is the CEO of the largest asset management firm in the entire world, which owns a large share in virtually all of the companies in the S&P 500, and that is BlackRock. They currently have over $10 trillion in assets under management. And for a long time, he was spreading FUD regarding Bitcoin. But guess what? Like I mentioned earlier, if you can't beat them, join them, because they just most recently, a few months ago, they submitted their application for a spot Bitcoin ETF, which ultimately means they're going to be introducing this to the institutions which have trillions upon trillions of dollars, as there's currently north of $700 trillion in the total addressable market, and they want their piece of the Bitcoin pie. So he goes on to share. The PayPal co-founder added that Fink's quote is somewhat representative of the whole genre of Bitcoin attacks that need further context, stating that pro-blockchain is an anti-Bitcoin term, very typically. Thiel then brought up the environmental, social, and governance, ESG standards, elaborating the following. The label they have come up with, and perhaps the real enemy, is ESG. I think that ESG is just a hate factory. I also like to throw out there, Elon Musk, he stopped taking Bitcoin payments for Tesla, and he says it's because of the FUD regarding this ESG, and we all know it's not more than FUD, and it's already been proven that Bitcoin is more than 50% clean energy. So the million-dollar question, when will the world's supposedly wealthiest man, Elon Musk, when will he start accepting Bitcoin payments again for Tesla? Isn't that a great question? And wouldn't you love to know the answer to that? Maybe you should ask Elon and tag him on X and see what he says. Anyways, Thiel stressed, you can always ask the question, what's the difference between ESG and the CCP, the Chinese Communist Party? Well, when you think ESG, you should be thinking of CCP. Preach. Now, he also goes on to share, it is the finance gentrocracy that runs the country through whatever silly virtue signaling or hate factory to them, just like ESG, the billionaire concluded. This is what I would call, and what you have to think of as, a revolutionary youth movement. And we have to just go out from this conference and take over the world. So there you have it, fam. What are your thoughts surrounding Peter Thiel's prediction that we are likely to 100x, and along with his enemies list, as it seems a lot of the enemies have come around and now have direct exposure to BTC. But it doesn't stop there, because around that time he was making this $4 million Bitcoin price prediction, he allegedly dumped most of his position, cashing out in with over $1 billion in profits for his fund. So let's also break this down, as this is also very relevant comment. How many of you were able to watch the speech he gave at that Bitcoin conference? It was epic, to say the least. I recall it. Now, so here we go. Check it out. Peter Thiel's venture capital firm reportedly made $1.8 billion closing out its crypto positions around the time when he was an early Bitcoin bull, still predicting the token's price to surge by 100x. And again, from 43,000 price action, 100x means over 4 million. Founders Fund had cashed out almost all of its bets on digital assets by March of 2022, according to the Financial Times report that cited people familiar with the matter. But Thiel was still backing Bitcoin, obviously, when he spoke at the crypto conference in Miami the following month. He went on to share, we're at the end of the fiat money regime, he said, adding that the token's price could increase 100-fold from its level at the time, which was reported at $44,000 per coin. That prediction was proven false, and as rising interest rates and failures of high-profile firms like Celsius Network, Three Arrows Capital, FTX, Terra Luna dragged the crypto sector into the prolonged bearish winter. Now, Bitcoin plummeted by over 60% in 2022 and was trading at under 17,000 by the end of the year. And I believe the bottom currently for the cycle is 15,700. How many of you feel that that bottom is in? Let me know, chat. Founders Fund first started pouring money into crypto all the way back in 2014 when Bitcoin was only trading at roughly $750 per coin. So by the time Bitcoin reached its all-time high in November of 2021, it had surged 8,500% from that particular level. Not too shabby for a 7-year run, wouldn't you say? Now, Thiel has a long track record as one of Silicon Valley's most prominent tech investors. He took early stakes in startups, which include Facebook, Elon Musk's SpaceX, and ride-hailing app Lyft, and even co-founded PayPal back in 1998. Thiel is also a high-profile supporter of the Republican Party and continued to voice his support for Donald Trump since the former president left office in January of 2021. The fund held around 2/3 of his portfolio in Bitcoin at one time, but now has significant exposure to crypto, according to FT's sources. So there you have it. Fam, what are your thoughts surrounding his prediction and him cashing out at around that time he was making those all-time high predictions of 100x? Let me know, fam. And with that being shared, now let's break down our live Q&A. Welcome to everyone in the live chat. And if you gain value out of today's episode, the greatest compliment you can do, simply smash that like button because it helps out tremendously with the YouTube algorithm. And if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe to receive daily premium crypto news alerts every single day just like this, and show your love and support for the new channel, which is clips.cryptonewsalerts.net, to get exclusive shorts and clips taken from this daily live stream. So there you have it. Welcome everyone here in the live chat. Bitcoin on Lake Osene. What's up? Bitcoin Trading, Digital Dankness. What is good? Passive income with AI. Mr. Still Stacking. LFC Liverpool Film Club. Tony Jeffries. Crypto Z. What's up? What's up? Tim's Crypto. Kevin Harandi. What up? J-Dub the Laker. What's up? $0 G-Ro in the building. What's poppin', fam? What's new, Dub Proof? Good to see you. W1 Wildcard Crypto Hodl. Welcome. Melda the Witch. Good to see ya. What is new? What's good? Shout out to the Coin Father. Shout out to a lot of the Bitcoin OGs. Shout out to Holland. We got Barry in the building. Much love, much respect. We got Hodl Mike 73. Welcome. Yes, this is pod number 1406. Let's go. Shout out to all the stackers. Shout out to all the long-term hodlers. Shout out to all the Bitcoin fam. Also want to encourage you guys to join our Discord to connect with fellow Bitcoiners such as yourself. It's simply discord.cryptonewsalerts.net. You also find the links in the show notes below the video in the description. Kevin Harandi says, happy to see you. Appreciate you tuning in live as always. Much love, much respect. Shout out to Passive Income with AI. Relaxing says Bitcoin needs to get to at least 70,000 early next year. I would be happy with that in the short term. Well, guess what? 70,000 equals price discovery mode, as the current all-time high is 69,000. I will tell you from firsthand experience, there's nothing more exciting than being involved in Bitcoin when we enter that price discovery mode, because no one knows how high we shall climb. You got to remember, back in 2020, Bitcoin crashed to 3,500, and by the end of 2021, we're at 69,000. And once we broke the 20,000 previous cycle all-time high that we captured back in 2020, it was in price discovery mode. And, you know, there was a lot of speculation. Bitcoin can go all the way up to 100, 200, 4,500. Nobody knows, but where she stops, we shall soon see. So yeah, it's going to be like deja vu all over again, only we're going to enter new bullish sentiment with all-time highs. We have a new supply shock at a level never witnessed before in the crypto sphere. My story is similar to most, did over 3,000% in 7 months in 2021. Congratulations. And traded not once since then. I bought 17 ETH at 4,500 each. Dough. What up, fam? What up, Chris? Good to see you, fam. Chilling like a villain. Happy to hear. Happy 420 to everyone out there. So relaxing turned 1,400 in stimulus to $52,000. Can you say score? Shout out to Boomer Futurists. How many of you are going to be watching Nayib Bukele's speech to the UN this evening? I know I'll be tuning in. It's going to be epic, so make sure you are too. I am not too worried about what Bitcoin will get. I just want that volatility to return. That's right. Volatility is a good thing. It's the life force, and the force is strong up in this mofo. Can we break 30,000? Asked the proof. What do you guys think, chat? I absolutely think so. I mean, we've already broken 30,000 for this year a couple of months ago. I think the current high for this year is roughly 32,000. So yeah, absolutely. Cheers. Appreciate it. What's good? Larry Low Wong Wee. Appreciate you tuning in, supporting the movement. Good stuff. Boom, chicky boom, says Larry. Shout out to Larry. Coin IQ in the building. Shout out to Coin IQ. Digital Dankness doing big things in the crypto space. Much love, much respect. Party time, 4 million. You already know Knox Bill. Send it. Let's go. Joannis, welcome. Doug Joseph, will Bitcoin hit 28,000 in September? Very probable. I mean, we're less than $1,000 away. We can wake up with Bitcoin above 28,000 or 30,000 effortlessly, 100%. Bitcoin can rip with a God candle. I define a God candle as $10,000 more green candle gain within a 24-hour time period. Anything is possible. You know what I mean? The fundamentals are stronger than ever. That's right. The Bitcoin hash rate just hit a new all-time high. Facts. Sitting comfortably on 25,250 now. 10 days for it to reach and hold 28,000, says Larry. Jay Ivy, howdy from Texas. Appreciate the support. JV, that's my favorite Philly jersey. Thank you. This is the throwback Allen Iverson jersey. Of course, I got to represent my man. I've been following Iverson since back when he played for Georgetown Hoyas, back when I was in middle school. Hence why I have the Georgetown Hoyas Iverson jersey as well. Got to show my love and respect. So yeah, shout out to Philly. Florida in the building, of course. What is up? Good stuff. Zap checking in from Yokohama, Japan. And good stuff. Smashing that like button because we already know it's going to be a damn good show. Appreciate that. Barry Bitcoin says Amsterdam in the house. One of my favorite places to go. The channel, Coin IQ, says is going to focus on easy to understand crypto knowledge, the way people can understand it without being flooded with the technical jargon. I'm also subtitling it in 12 different languages. Massive shout out to the new channel, Coin IQ, from a fellow Bitcoin OG and also moderator here on the channel. You can find the link, the direct link to his YouTube channel. Go ahead and subscribe and follow him. You'll notice it in the live chat pinned in the description. So show him some love. How can I get one of those B hats that you're wearing? Simply order one. You can go to Google, just type in Bitcoin hat, or you can visit my merch store, which is merch.cryptonewsalerts.net. I may not have this particular hat, but you'll find other very cool Bitcoin hats on there. Tuning in from BlackRock Secret Bitcoin Vault. Word up. What's up, Jay? What up, Key Rages? Good to see you. Still stacking. What it do? Bitcoin is the only thing I actually own. Everything else is by permissioned access. I don't blame you, fam. 28,000 in September. I absolutely do think so. 100%. Also, we're right around the corner from October. Now, October is typically a very bullish month for the year for the King Crypto, as September is typically bearish. So we'll see how this likely plays out as we have 2 more weeks before we enter the new month. I would like to see the Bitcoin price stay low for me to stack more sats, says Robert Brady. I think a lot of you guys would like to see that as well, to seize the moment. Just waiting for the first ETF to drop. You already know when we get that first ETF, it is game on. There'll likely be a domino effect of the SEC approving many of those applications around the same time. And that's a beautiful thing because with competition comes in, I think it's going to attract more institutional investors at that institutional level. And like I already mentioned, the total addressable market is north of 700 trillion. And if only 1% of that total addressable market cap flows into the King Crypto, game game on. We're entering price discovery mode with or without the approval of a spot ETF. That's facts, fam. Just based on the halving alone, the scarcity, the supply shock is going to send Bitcoin price to unprecedented waters. Price discovery mode, places we have never been before, north of $100,000. I firmly believe that. You have to consider, even if we only 2x from the previous all-time high of 69,000, which we achieved in November of 2021, that's still $138,000 price action. And in my humble opinion, that's extremely conservative. I think we can 3, 4, 5x. I love Raoul Powell's prediction that the market cap can 5 to 10x this bull cycle. But what are your thoughts, fam? Let me know in the comments and I'll read them all out loud. Going to be an epic pleb party. Absolutely. Good stuff, Coin Father. October 4th. Is that the date? And the crowd is restless. J-Dub, I got my ticket. It'll be at the Pacific Bitcoin Pleb Party. Good stuff. If anyone's looking to go to that party, link up with Coin Father. Zap Ingram, what up? Appreciate you. Nightmare FTX news. No one cares to hear anymore. Just my 2 cents on anything that has to do with FTX or SBF. I agree with you there. Tony Jeffries from Liverpool is in the building. Shout out. Much love, much respect. Shout out to the UK. Good stuff. Yeah. Why so much drama from FTX? Just released their crypto already. Lots of people waiting to take over their BTC. You already know how that game is played, fam. Let the family all go down, says Passive Income with AI, right? If they're all involved in the fraud, I think they should be held liable and responsible. SBF is a real smart guy to build that company, but really dumb when answering questions. Facts. Preach. Arrest the whole family, says Boomer Futurist. SBF should stay in jail until Bitcoin hits 5 million. Word up. I think his parents told him how to do it, so he gets the minimum time. Probably Chris. Obviously, he wasn't the mastermind behind it all. I think his parents were involved. I think the people that ran FTX behind the scenes in the shadows were involved. I think the regulators in the shadows like Gary Gensler were involved, and they're trying to cover it all up, in my humble opinion. From Liverpool, love Liverpool. Shout out to the UK. Shout out to England. Bitcoiner from England. Shout out to Kareem Edwards. Appreciate the support. I'd have to say, stay in jail till it hits 5 million, but somehow Gary would just make it happen sooner than rather than later, right? Anything's possible. SBF says, my mommy told me to do it. Doesn't that sound funny? Let's hope SBF plays it out. The final curtain like Epstein. It will. Targets from 120 to 180,000, says Passive. Relaxing, beaten up by a bunch of Dogecoin hodlers. Yikes. That Bankman-Fried family, no better example of well-connected insiders, a great big club, and you ain't in it. Shout out to George Carlin. Rest in peace, one of my favorite comedians of all time. I think the same. 3x, send it. Let's go. Welcome, G-Row. I have 3 to 7x in the next Bitcoin bull run prediction. Love it, Coin Father. And are you talking 3 to 7x from the current price or 3 to 7x from the previous all-time high? Please clarify, as that would make a tremendous difference. Good stuff. Okay. Welcome, Melda the Witch. Welcome, Wild One. What up, La Familia? Good to see you. Those are fun, though. Good to note. Tim's Crypto. He's bullish on Quant, HBAR, ETH, Link, Cardano, and Stellar Lumens. Thank you for sharing. Dub Proof put Digibyte, Solana, ETH, DPR. I guess that is that Daper or Draper or something. What's going on, Bitcoin Trini? Appreciate you. Then see the next PB Festival, October 5th. Good to note. I still think Solana got a bad rap being involved with the FTC unfairly. This is extremely undervalued, says $0G-Row. Well, I guess Raoul Powell agrees with you, hence why he is so bullish on that one in particular. Cha-ching, says Passive. Cha-ching, fam. At the end of the day, yes, Bitcoin only. Kevin says Solana would go back and eventually close at 300 by mid or end of 2025. ETH will lag about 3 weeks, says Passive. How many of you guys think Bitcoin is likely to outpace Ethereum this cycle? The previous cycles, Ethereum outpaced Bitcoin, just FYI. I'm more bullish on Bitcoin here personally, but I'd love to know your thoughts. My long-term Bitcoin prices by 2030, $1 million. By 2042, 10 to 25 million. I'd love to see that. For good Christ's sake, send it. Bitcoin is 1.5 to 2.3x from the previous all-time high, and every cycle I can see 3.5x rise in a year. If the ETF hits, I would definitely see 5x. That's 238 to 350,000 per Bitcoin. Shout out to Dankness, appreciate the prediction. Bitcoin on Lake says Bitcoin is the only thing I actually own. Everything else is by permissioned access. Where Peter Thiel also said that RSR would be $1. They must know that Larry Fink also has a funny handshake. Oh yeah, you could bet your bottom dollar on that one. The secret handshake. Saw the Thiel speech in Miami. That's awesome. You got to witness it firsthand. Good energy. Thanks, JV. You're very welcome. Felix Hopkins trying to convince my church to accept Bitcoin donations. Why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they? Good stuff. I think that's brilliant. Bitcoin is the new world currency. That's right, taking over the old world order. I love this community. It's my favorite. Thank you, Melda. It means a lot. We'll definitely catch the Bukele speech. It's a huge stage. Exactly, 100%. 28,000 and the bears will be exhausted. Zero says, shout out to Gary Gensler for suppressing the price for us. That's right. Continue stacking them sats. You may want to send him a box of chocolates or something to thank him. Felix said, bought the dip at 20,000 in euros. Word. Dubproof says practice. Word. I freebase hopium. You got to do what you got to do, J-Dub. Pass that over here. Puff, puff, pass. Gary is running out of road. Does seem to be this way. It is what it is. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, says Andy Surfer. Thank you, fam. We got people here from all over the world, of course. Current prices, 3x to 7x from the current price. Word up. So hypothetically, a 3x, we're talking about roughly an $80,000 price action. If we were to 5x from the current price, what are we talking? Roughly $150,000 price action. I'll accept that. Why not? Yeah, I mean, I just can't wait to enter price discovery, just saying. Not that I ever did that, said Orthodox Boomer Grandma. The video is like shooting cocaine. What a comparison there. Late to the party. I watched the show sliding in from Clearwater, Florida. Word up. I didn't actually, but other things not anymore. Word. Good disclaimer. Hopefully it won't be for the grandkids. Bitcoin maximalist here, but my hubby is the buyer. Well, shout out to your hubby and you as a maxi. XRP, any thoughts, says Barry Kahn. I hope they win the appeal against the SEC. Obviously, they have been targeted by Gary Gensler. The lawsuit I felt was unlawful from the very beginning, and it ultimately coerced the major exchanges to delist it, ultimately suppressing the XRP price action. So, you know what I mean? You already know how I feel towards the regulators, and I hate when people lose. And unfortunately, I believe the SEC's actions have caused massive financial damage and harm to XRP hodlers. So I'm rooting for, crypto to win over unlawful regulation. Personally, I think that XRP is likely to win the appeal, but just in the back of investors' minds now, they're going to have that fear, uncertainty, and doubt that Gary Gensler and the SEC will overturn that ruling, and it could be deemed a security, ultimately scaring people from investing in the asset. Now, personally, I am not a big fan of XRP. I'm all in on Bitcoin because Bitcoin is decentralized. It's the antidote to the CBDCs, whereas XRP is the bridge currency for the governments to use for the CBDCs. So you do the math, you choose your side, but nonetheless, those are my thoughts, fam. Good question. What parallels can be drawn between the early internet's evolution and the current state of Bitcoin and blockchain technology? I think comparing it, I think Bitcoin has grown even faster as far as adoption in crypto compared to the internet. And I think AI has surpassed the growth of even crypto, let alone the internet. In fact, I heard something stated that within 60 days, ChatGPT went from 0 users to 100 million users, which is unprecedented growth. I think the unprecedented growth of both cryptocurrency and AI will likely to continue outpacing the initial growth of the internet. And we all know how explosive the internet growth has been. I do believe that blockchain technology will virtually disrupt every major technology in the world, like we're witnessing right now in real time. There's nothing new under the sun. 3 things cannot be long hidden. That is the sun, the moon, and the truth. Preach. Just saying. Got to suitcase them coins. You got to do what you got to do, Black Swan the Don. I asked my local bank about Bitcoin exchanging, and they said they cannot comment. That's hilarious that they're taught to address questions. Oh, I can't comment. I can't express my opinion. They won't allow me to. What kind of world do we live in? Fidelity Bank likes Bitcoin. I think they all like Bitcoin. If I'm not mistaken, Fidelity started accumulating Bitcoin like back in 2014, many years back. They were just under the radar. And FYI, Fidelity, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but is the second largest asset manager in the world with $4.5 trillion in assets under management, with BlackRock being the largest at roughly $10 trillion. That's a pretty big deal. So between those two companies, they control $15 trillion worth of wealth. Like, whoa. Now, what would happen if just 5% of their market went into Bitcoin, game over. We're talking about a multiple seven-figure Bitcoin price action, as Max Keiser has called. When you see 5 to 10% of this funds from the institutional level coming into Bitcoin, we can anticipate those multiple seven-figure price predictions we've been talking about for quite some time. What are your thoughts, fam? I just needed to go to 47,000 to freaking be back to where I was fall of 2021. Word. Where can we see the Bukele speech? I would pay close attention to Bukele's X account. Follow Stacey Herbert, follow Max Keiser. I'm sure they'll all be retweeting and reposting his speech as it's going. But I'm following Bukele, so whenever he shares when he's doing something, I'm all over it. Highly encourage you to follow him on X. Good stuff. He's one of the best president there is. You know what I mean? Fidelity Bank, you can purchase Bitcoin and ETH. Good to note, passive. Where can we? Yeah, good stuff. So yeah, find it on X. You should be available there. Fidelity also mined Bitcoin back in 2014. So there you have it. We got the confirmation. So they've been bullish for a very long time, which makes you wonder, how long has BlackRock been bullish on Bitcoin behind the scenes? When Larry Fink was shooting it down publicly, they were probably accumulating some way, somehow. I also got to throw out there, correct me if I'm wrong, but BlackRock, the world's largest asset manager, controls roughly 8% of MicroStrategy, meaning they are one of the primary shareholders, just as they are with the majority of the companies in the world, including over 80% of the companies in the S&P 500. That's pretty alarming. Can you say monopoly? Why is that allowed? Makes you wonder. Maybe something we should question. You know what I mean? What are your thoughts? Big drop coming in the next months? Very possible. Anything is possible. Also, we know there is a halving in 6 months. So typically, before we go on a parabolic ascent, the powers that be, the mainstream, the FUD, the attacks continue trying to scare people out of their positions so that they can sell. However, you got to be able to maintain with the diamond hands, and just note, over the long haul, you're going to be in the green. So for example, there may be a fake out, a scare right before the halving, and then everyone starts dumping, it's going to go lower, it's going to go lower. And when everyone least expects it, hockey stick to the moon. You know what I mean? So expect the unexpected. Typically, the market does the opposite of the consensus, meaning what the majority of the people think is going to happen, Bitcoin is on its own vector, so it does its own thing and likes to take you by surprise. And I don't expect anything different this cycle. If dip, buy more and lower your cost average. Exactly, seize the moment. Best way to buy something, crap on it first, says Tim. Word up. BlackRock Bitcoin bullish since 2019. Thanks for the clarification, Coin Father. Wow, that's what's up. Big drop. Again, anything is possible. What are your guys' thoughts? I think be prepared for all scenarios. If we drop, how much more are you going to accumulate? And if we pump, how much have you already accumulated to be able to take advantage of this and not say, oh crap, I missed the boat, I'm on the sidelines, I'll wait till we crash back down to a new all-time low. Unfortunately, a lot of you guys are going to miss out. It's just the nature of the beast. Everyone thinks they're smarter than Bitcoin, but I think Bitcoin is a lot smarter than all of us because it can't be controlled. It can't be put into a box. It does its own thing. As I mentioned, it's on its own vector and is most likely going to continue doing what it does best, which is every 4 years, new all-time highs, price discovery mode, less freaking go, more scarce, supply shock, Bitcoin becoming legal tender in more countries. What if Bitcoin was to become a legal tender in a country like Mexico? Did you know Ricardo Salinas, who Max Keiser orange pilled, he's the third richest man in Mexico. He is a billionaire, and guess what? He is pro-Bitcoin. Max orange pilled him into Bitcoin back in 2014. And Bitcoin has been his most successful investment. He is extremely bullish on BTC. So what if the entire country adopted it as a legal tender? Obviously, it'd be a game changer considering how large the population is. What if Argentina, we have Javier Milei, pro-presidential Bitcoin candidate, recently interviewed by Tucker on X. It got over 400 million views in roughly 48 hours. It just goes to show you how popular his beliefs are. And he's anti-central bank, he is anti-CBDC, and he's pro-Bitcoin. And Max already made the announcement he can't wait to touch down in Buenos Aires, Argentina, to orange pill Javier Milei. And what if, considering Max Keiser is the senior Bitcoin financial advisor to Bukele of El Salvador, what if Malay gets orange pilled by Max and they decide to adopt Bitcoin as a legal tender, and Javier actually becomes the president of Argentina. Again, another massive population. And what if this were to happen in Brazil? I think Latin America is very bullish on Bitcoin. They're sick and tired of the corruption. They're sick and tired of the hyperinflation. They're sick and tired of the corruption and lies from the central bankers, the politicians, and whatnot. So Bitcoin changes the game. Bitcoin is how you escape from the matrix. Bitcoin is how you save the people in your country. Bitcoin is how you save your financial system. Bitcoin is how you continue to thrive. The alternative is what? Enslavement, right? Through fiat currency Ponzi schemes. The choice is yours. What are your thoughts, fam? Yeah, Bitcoin taking over Latin America. Let's go. What's an efficient Bitcoin mining machine I can buy? That's a great question for the miners. Any Bitcoin miners share your thoughts to Scott Williams. Bitcoin to the moon, baby. Charles, send it. Let's freaking go. Still buying and we'll continue to buy. That's what's up. Felix, 1 million. Come on, dog. Let's go. Bitcoin is the king, says OG Backroad Crypto Bootleg. Shout out to the OG. Appreciate your support. Pepe Coin, a big surprise coming. Not surprising to me. Is it surprising to anyone else? What are your thoughts? I mean, it is what it is. Bitcoin to the moon, send it, and let's freaking go. Anyways, fam, now for a recap, what I cover with you here in today's show. I broke down the latest technical analysis as the Bitcoin Bollinger Bands hit a key zone as Bitcoin price fights to stay above $27,000. We also discuss breaking news, Bitcoin Adoption Fund launched by Japan's $500 billion Nomura Bank, as well as SBF, Sam Bankman-Fried, and his parents in a little dispute as FTX is now suing SBF's parents. We'll also discuss today Bitcoin gearing up for a post-halving parabola, according to the crypto analyst who says Bitcoin price is likely to reach a new all-time high. We also discuss crypto asset market cap should explode by at least 5 to 10x during the next bull market, according to macro guru investor Raoul Pal. And I also shared with you Peter Thiel, the billionaire co-founder of PayPal, predicting the Bitcoin price is likely to reach 100x, which would be above $4 million per coin. But where do you feel the Bitcoin price is likely to go next? Let me know in the comments right down below. And if you gain value out of today's show, smash that like button. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you all on